Hi, everyone. Welcome on in. We are so thrilled to have everyone joining here. We're just going to give everyone a few minutes to log in, to join on. Maybe in the meantime, before we get going, I would love for everyone to use the Zoom chat and to tell us where you are calling in from and what venue you are here with. I always like seeing where in the world everyone is. Oh, we got Miami. Milena
Hey,
on the
Four
call is actually in
Seasons.
Florida right now, too. We have Four Seasons Nashville. More Nashville, Houston, New Orleans, New York. Okay, I love this. A lot of venues I'm very familiar with. Rosewood, Bermuda, Chicago. This is awesome. A lot of New York. This is so fun. We have nationwide. Don't know if we have international. Oh, we do. We have Bermuda. We are international on this call officially. I love that. Welcome, welcome. Upstate New York. We have an awesome panel ahead today, and maybe we'll give it another minute or two before we do a round of introductions. And then I will share a little bit about parties and we'll dive into things. Okay, we have Mexico. We are international. Vegas, a lot of places, honestly, that I wish I was in Mexico or Bermuda right now, or Healdsburg. A lot of beautiful venue locations. Looks like we have a new hotel that's opening. This will be really fun too to see all the different venues that are being represented because with the three panels that we have, they also represent three very different types of venues. So I think we'll also get good diversity of perspective as well on this. Mexico. All right. Welcome to everyone who's hopping on in. All right, why don't maybe we can get going. I think we have maybe a handful of people who are still dialing in, but I'd like to just welcome everyone to our panel here today, where we are going to be talking about how top venues and hotels are embracing AI to win more events. I'm thrilled to be joined by three incredible panelists here. Melissa here from Bedford Village Inn, Allison, who is here from Four Seasons Philadelphia, and Milena here, who's here from Vera, DC. And so to kick things off, why don't I have the three of them introduce themselves, give you a bit of flavor for what their venues are like, because we do have three very different venues that are represented here. And I think just looking at the chats that I'm seeing, we have a lot of diversity as well in terms of the venue types that are joining us on the call. And then after that, I'll give everyone a brief introduction to PartySlate and to myself, of course. I'm Lillian Chen. I'm the VP of Customer Operations here at PartySlate. And then we'll dive into the Q&A. So with that, Melissa, I'd love to have you start with giving a quick introduction to yourself and Bedford Village Inn.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. So I am the sales and marketing director at the Bedford Village Inn in New Hampshire. So we're located in southern New Hampshire. So we are what we call a full service wedding venue and event space. We have lodging on site as well as dining. So we have a lot more than just an event facility. So we've been around since 1989, hosting weddings, corporate stays, meetings, milestone events, award-winning dining, and of course, luxury accommodations. In 2016, we opened up a new venue, the Grand Boutique Hotel, which offered more luxury accommodations on site here with us. So we've recently just won Best New Hampshire Wedding Venue, Best Venue for Business Stays, Best Inn and Bed and Breakfast. So we've really been working really hard in New Hampshire to establish and maintain our reputation. But one of our biggest and proudest things that we accommodate for our couples is just the beautiful grounds, the iconic courtyard gardens, beautiful reception spaces for all the seasons. So we are a full season, winter, spring, summer, fall, different styles for couples. And it's really a blessing and such a pleasure to be here.
Thanks, Melissa. I love all the outdoor photos of the inn. I mean, it truly is stunning, and it's amazing how every single different season there's a different energy to the space. Allison, would love to have you introduce yourself and Four Seasons Philadelphia.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name's Allison Grawl. I am one of the event sales managers at Four Seasons Hotel in Philadelphia, which you can see from my backdrop. We are actually the highest situated hotel in North America, and we are at the tippy top of Philadelphia. So our hotel is a really incredible space with sky-high views at every backdrop. Right now, we're in an exciting phase of our hotel where we are undergoing a ballroom renovation. So this October, we are introducing brand new ballroom spaces to our couples and all of our clients. So I'm excited to share a little bit more today through PartySlate of how we've been utilizing these tools to help us showcase our spaces when we don't have physical event spaces to show.
Definitely, I think a challenge that a lot of people can certainly relate to. And Melina, I'd love to have you introduce yourself as well as Vera DC.
Hi, thank you for having me. My name is Milena. I'm here on behalf of Vera Cucina and Bar and Culture DC. It is nested under the same roof, but Vera is fully operational restaurant, while Culture is a fully modular event space. So we definitely have a lot of fun there. We are well, the smallest event is 20 with private dining room, but the whole venue capacity is 1,000. So once when we have the full buyouts, there's a lot going on. Given how modular the spaces are, we actually are capable of creating all types of events, and they all look different, and there's so much fun with different teams involved, full production team on board. And we are now introducing our new venue, AI Pop-ups, that is 15,000 square feet. So we're looking forward to fall and actually get it going over there with some corporate events on larger scale as well.
Thank you, Milena. And as I mentioned at the start, my name is Lillian Chen. I am PartySlate's VP of Customer Operations. And so I work really closely, obviously, with these three on the call, but as well as with the other thousands of members that we have here at PartySlate. I recognize a lot of the specific venue names that are in the chat. So welcome. It's so lovely to have everyone here. But I also know we have some people on the call who are new to PartySlate. And so I want to just take a quick minute to do a quick introduction of PartySlate for those who are experiencing PartySlate for the first time. PartySlate is a place where you can truly let your content be your currency. As I like to say, you can let your content do the work for you. We have two different sides of PartySlate. One, which is what I call the front of house. That's your public profile. There's a directory that we have where you are getting that directory placement with your public profile, and it's really about exposure. I can give a quick example of what that looks like before we dive into things. And so let's say someone is a consumer and they're searching for top venues in Philadelphia, as an example, since we have our Four Seasons Philly on the call. The consumer is scrolling through and they're looking. I mean, these are all sponsored stuff. And then they see PartySlate. It's usually the first or second link that comes up. And then this is our directory page. And so what your membership includes is that, PartySlate directory placement. And then maybe I'm scrolling and I see Four Seasons Philadelphia. This is your public facing profile that really is all about exposure. At the same time, we also have what I like to call back of house, which are all of your industry tools that we've built specifically for industry professionals. And that's where a lot of our AI tools are here. So I'll just click on search my photos as an example. And this is where, we have some of these tools that we'll be talking about later, but this is all AI-driven search and share. We do have private storage as well. And again, this is that private back of house. And so I'm excited, though, to have these three ladies on the call with me today to talk about all the different ways that they are utilizing AI tools, whether it's PartySlate or whether it's other tools in their day-to-days, because I know you all are super busy. There's a lot that is always on your plate. And there's never enough time, honestly, to get everything done. And so with that, why don't we go into some questions that I'd love to go through with these three. And so maybe to start, I'd love to ask each of the three of you on how today you and your teams are using AI to drive efficiency and to save time, whether that's with admin work, whether that's with proposals, design, venue tours, follow-up communication. I mean, I know that, like I said, time is of the essence with everything. And when you're focused on closing business, there's a lot of other stuff that's also happening around that. And so maybe, Melissa, I'd love to start with you and just understand how you and your team are using AI to help with time-saving tools.
Sure, sure. So one of our favorite uses are our templates. So we have a lot of automated email templates that we can use even pre-tour. So even our initial inquiry where, we want to attract our couples, let them know that we're a full service venue, and drive home that we're not somewhere that they can come and bring their own food and beverage. So that's important. It helps us to qualify our leads with a lot of our templated responses. We then use templates even further down the line. So following up with leads, post-tour, even through the whole wedding coordination process. So our team doesn't let go of the group until the ceremony's over. So if you tour with one of our sales reps, they're there with you to not only show you the venue, but also plan with you throughout the entire planning process. And they also see you as you walk down the aisle. So we're really hands-on. So that's a lot of hats to fill and wear throughout the planning process. So we need AI and we need efficiencies in place in order for us to be successful and personal with our couples. So, there's chat bots, which we don't use, but we do use a lot of templated responses. We use Triple Seed as our CRM, so we have automatizations in there as far as lead follow-ups and throughout planning, just reminders, book your final detail appointment with us. That will go 6 months out. Have you scheduled a rehearsal dinner? Would you like to take advantage of one on property? Just those things. So my planners, when they're, hosting 60 to 70 weddings on their plate each year, they're not having to remember to do those details and follow-ups, and it generates more revenue for our property. We also use Squarespace, which is a separate website from our main site, and we created microsites for our wedding venues on property. So we have galleries of every single month. We have all the pricing, so we're transparent with our couples. We don't have it on our main site because we want them to inquire, but on our private microsite, we allow them to see pricing to, again, qualify that lead and get them on property for a tour. Through that, we use AI through Acuity, so we don't schedule tours. We use a scheduler for us, so they can book a tour with any of our planners. So that's very helpful. They can see that we have availability Tuesday through Sunday. So if they were talking to one planner and they're not available on that Saturday, they can come with another one of our experienced planners and start their, touring and vetting process with us that way. It allows us to not have to go back and forth. I used to have to book tours back in the day in 2012, and I'd spend hours going back with a couple. This is the time that finally lands and works for us. A lot of them will ask to come in during weddings. We can't let them see the space. We're then not embarrassing our couples by saying we can't allow you to come in during a wedding. It just makes it a nicer process without having to go through all the details of what their needs are. They can see exactly when we're available, and it definitely books more tours for us. So that's a huge win for our property exclusively. We also use HoneyBook, which is a process that we use. We have a private rental decor side of our venue where we have luxury wedding rentals that our couples have exclusive use of. So we book that through HoneyBook. They have a lot of AI automatizations that allow us to get payment and kind of streamline the pre-event process where it's very passive. So obviously we have to set up event decor, take it down and coordinate all of that. But as far as booking the client and getting them an invoice and their proposal paid in full, it's fully automated through AI. We also use DocSend for a private wedding portal. So when our couples book, they have access to all of their packages, all of our menus. We have venues for rehearsal dinners, as I mentioned. We have a space where we offer a post-wedding breakfast. They get to see the menu. I have pages of FAQs. So in a sense, I was a chatbot. I created all of these. I put them on DocSend so they can find the answers to all their questions. We have automated floor plans for them and proposals, so they have access to all those things. Our biggest takeaway definitely is the templates, the automatic scheduling, and a new rollout that we're adding is direct texting with our couples. We haven't started that quite yet, but I think with the younger, more tech-savvy generations, it's going to lend well and definitely provide, a good return on investment for us.
I love, Melissa, that you're kind of implementing new things as you're noticing your clients are changing, how they're communicating. There's different ways, right? And something that really stood out to me that you said is you're using templates, but you're making it feel personal. And so there's ways where you can do these things where, yes, it's automated. I mean, you know that it's automated, but to the other side, there's touches that you're still doing to make it feel personal to them.
No, it definitely helps. I don't like the chatbot feeling. It's not personal at all, but we can use those things so we're not typing the same thing over and over and over again. So it's huge.
I think we all know that world way too well. Allison, what about you? How is your team using AI and different tools to save time and be as efficient as possible?
Yeah, I'd agree with a lot of what Melissa said. Our team as event sales managers also wear the many hats where we're with our clients from start to finish. We handle a mix of both social and corporate, so fielding those requests are always going to take a different level of approach when you're responding. But in general, to Melissa's point, utilizing AI to draft those initial response emails and make sure you're hitting all the marks. So at least when we're qualifying those leads coming through, we're giving them as much information up front has been a great tool for us. I mentioned earlier that our ballrooms are undergoing renovation, so we've really been leaning into a lot of virtual tours and virtual tools to be able to showcase our venues in the absence of a physical space. And then, Melissa, we also love our booking tools to have our clients book both phone call appointments with us and virtual tours or physical tours. That really does save a ton of time from going back and forth in the emails.
And then I see a question in the chat that says, what do you use for your scheduling? Melissa, if I remember correctly, you said you use Squarespace's Acuity scheduler. Is that right?
Yes, I've
And then
used it for about 8 years now. It's phenomenal. There's a lot of customization. We have about 10 different meeting styles, and it will allow you not to overbook yourself. And it will allow me not to have my planners do 5 final detail appointments in one day. They would run in traffic, right? So I can limit the amount of site tours. I can make sure at a detail appointment they get 2.5 hours and they get 45 minutes to just collect themselves and they're not booked with a site tour right after. So it works really well. And the link, we have it in so many of our templates. It just goes right to a beautiful scheduling page. It works out beautifully.
Yep.
Well, Allison, what do
And
you use for scheduling?
so our team, we utilize Microsoft-based platforms. So it's a platform called Booking right through Microsoft there. But I love it because you can create your own templates to what Melissa said, and you can dictate what time frames work best for you. So for example, I'm most productive in my morning. So I like to safeguard that space for myself. And then I leave my afternoons open for clients to book either phone calls or tours with me. Of course, you can be flexible. And if they get back to you saying, I don't see any times that work with my schedule, then of course we can plan and coordinate accordingly. But it's a good way to at least get that initial schedule out the door.
Great. Milena, how about you with what Vera DC is doing?
Well, we definitely do a lot of things just like anyone else. AI has been a great help where, you can create templates, but you still want to make it personal because that's the most important thing, the hospitality of it. What I say it's different with our venue is that because there is a rooftop and then the main events venue is downstairs, we do happen to have 3 to 4 events in one day. So I usually use AI as a personal assistant where I can create SOPs, where I can create different communications with different teams at the same time without missing a detail. So I think that's the most useful the day of the event, everything pre-communication. Same with Melissa and Allison, creating the templates, follow-ups, and everything. But I believe that what's the most useful for us would be the day of event where, I don't have to go back and find a detail, create a new, type another document for an hour and a half when, sometimes one of the shows are 20 pages. Yours was the PartySlate event, was 26 pages. And, it's very helpful to actually have someone do that for you without missing a beat.
Milena, I'd love to hear a specific example of when you've used AI to help you put together that day of run of show and how, what tools you use specifically and what you fed into it to make sure that it gave you what you needed in an accurate way.
It definitely a lot of communication starts with using templates and then you feeding the details and then it's just creating. Once when I get all details from the client, it goes through Triple Seat as well because we use Triple Seat, and then I combine everything that I have, all details from Triple Seat, everything from pre-communication, and just give them an order and be like, hey, create a run of the show, do this for me, always feeding them with all the details. And then the best thing is that if I miss something, I can always add to it and it will just continue the conversation instead of going back. So technically, what I had to learn in the beginning was how to give a detailed order in order to receive a detailed response. It might take a time, but after 2 years, it's fed with so many informations that sometimes I don't even have to say a lot of things. It already remembers the rooms, remembers the capacities. Obviously, everything has to be double, triple checked because, we also cannot trust 100% anything that's artificial. But I definitely think feeding him the all information that you have, going back and forth with it will help them understand. And sometimes I even say, make it more personable, make it less personable. So it's very powerful tool where you're actually capable of creating something that is personable by using something that's artificial.
Yeah, I think it's so good. I mean, to your point, there's certain things that it's not going to be great at, but it is really good at summarizing and aggregating and, taking a lot of details and kind of pulling out the specific things that you need. There is a question from the chat I see here that says, what AI platform are you using to drop your Triple C info into to create that run of show or SOPs? So I think it's just a question on what AI platform you're currently using, Milena, to do all this.
So we do have we have CRM that's created just for us. I also have a lot, I swear in ChatGPT, so that's my favorite at the moment. I didn't explore any others because this one works for me, but also definitely Triple Seat has its own CRM system as well. So combining all three of them, yes, it's a lot. You can get a little bit lost, but I feel like over the period of time, you just get used to like what are you using, what time and where. But our CRM has automated email as well as SMS system. So it was created just for us. The first email is always personable. We do only follow up as automation. So technically, every first email is responded by me or someone from my team. Where hey, thank you so much. Which because it's different venues. What the venue inquiring? What's the capacity? Do you need AV equipment? And then after we get those details, if we don't hear from that back from them, that's when CRM comes in and reminds them, hey, are you still interested, or whatever the templates are.
Yeah, perfect. And Allison, I'm curious from your perspective, because I know that you're also utilizing a lot of the tools. What do you think a hotel or a venue team might risk if they don't embrace AI in their day-to-day?
I think one of the key things that AI has helped is really the automated fast response aspect of things. I know our clients are always looking for the fastest answer possible. So whatever we can do in the moment to help give quick information to at least get the message across the board and then continue the follow-up. I'm sure many other venues feel this way, that it is hard and challenging to keep up with the pace of both the workload that we're working within day to day and also the amount of leads that come through. So I personally find it important to get back to our clients as quickly as possible. And even if it's just giving a quick, I'm so sorry, I don't have a chance to hop on a quick phone call with you right now, but here's all the information that you need and a time to schedule another time with me. I think that's really beneficial.
Yeah, I've heard from a lot of people who've said that you always want to be that first response back because you know that if someone is talking to you, they're probably also reaching out to a few other venues that they're considering, and that speed of response,
Absolutely.
wanting to be that first one back in their inbox is so important. And I mean, that's really where AI has time to shine and automations have time to shine, where that's what's going to help you with the time saving. Melissa, what's your view on that for if a venue doesn't embrace AI, how do you think that would impact them?
I completely agree with Allison. To her point, if you're not efficient, you're losing, the opportunity to discover and, book those leads, right? So the response rate is important. And then, but just making it beautiful in your response. So, like I've touched upon already, I love the automation and the efficiency of AI, but it lacks emotional intelligence. So, when we cater that to really just be an extension of ourselves, that way we're getting in front of the client, guest facing as fast as possible. And then once they respond back, that becomes a qualified lead for us where we jump in and respond even more heavily with our planners. But getting that initial inquiry out with basic information, for weddings, especially when they're on the Knot or any of those platforms, they're going to suggest after they inquire with one venue, 5 others. So they could just be clicking one of your venues and not really interested. They're just like, oh, let me see what they're worth. But we're up 5 states over and not really somewhere that they're interested in. So we are getting inundated with leads. So I think the automated AI response that's personalized is huge without taking advantage of that. And again, evolving with AI. It's all so new and there's so much coming so quickly. I think so much has changed from when we first spoke in May, right? There's so much that I've started to utilize. I always use templates. That was my thing. I love templates, love all of that. We've recently just joined Triple C, which has, like I mentioned, a lot of nice automizations, but there's so much more out there, AI agents for booking site tours, things like that, that I think we need to become aware of because the competition will be using that. And we need to make sure that we understand what our clients are seeing from every venue. And that's the best approach to make sure we stand out, knowing all the different avenues that they get responses from.
Yeah, that's awesome. I kind of want to shift gears a little, and I would love to show each of your PartySlate profile accounts to get a better idea of how your teams are specifically leveraging the PartySlate AI-driven photo management tools. I mean, I know I think time saving has been a big theme throughout all of this. And Allison, you mentioned specifically, given that there's renovations that are currently happening, how you have to be leveraging a lot of virtual tools to kind of showcase to people and so that they can envision what it would look like without all the renovations. And so maybe I'll start with Four Seasons Philadelphia, Allison. I want to just take a quick look through your profile page and just show your public facing profile here. And I'd love to maybe before we dive into some of the AI related tools that are in here, I want to understand how you and your team are utilizing your public facing page.
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, we share our public facing page when every inquiry comes through. So with each inquiry, we provide an overview of our hotel and all of the resources. And one of those key elements that we like to include is a link to our real event photos. So we always share a link to our gallery, which they can really explore and comb through some of the different scope of events, whether it be wedding celebrations, baby showers, birthday parties, corporate events. We feel that this page really gives a great overview of the scope of events that our team can help and support with. When it is a specific event, we love to utilize the galleries specifically to showcase what an event could look like through their lens. So for example, if I have a client who wants to host a New Year's Eve wedding, as you see here on this page, we have a glamorous New Year's Eve wedding that we can send them a link to. It's great to showcase what our hotel decor looks like during the New Year's Eve season and just an overview of what that type of event could look and feel like from an aesthetic, from building the anticipation to the evening. And then, of course, on New Year's Eve, you want to see what the party photos look like.
Yeah. I mean, you've done such a nice job, Allison, you and your team of maintaining this and making sure that all your best, latest, and greatest is all up here. So it's awesome.
Thank
And I
you.
do want to show, yeah, go ahead.
And I was just going to say the other aspect too, in terms of our event spaces, this is what we've really been utilizing to showcase our ballroom enhancements. So you'll see there, we actually copied and pasted our press release so our clients can read through the full description of everything that's to come. And we have showcased our current renderings here on the page as well. So it's just really great to have it as a one-stop shop where we can continue to update this and enhance it as we do receive additional renderings and information. But we like to have that showcased at the top of the page so our clients know that new ballroom enhancements are coming soon.
Yep. Do you use this page, Allison, to show people when
All
they're
the
doing a
time.
venue tour? Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
So I do not do a single venue tour without PartySlate. So every single time I do a tour, I have an iPad with me. And through every space, whether we're physically there together or if I'm doing it in a virtual capacity, I'm always utilizing the PartySlate pages to showcase our spaces.
I know for some of our other hotels that I've worked with who are part of a larger brand like a Four Seasons, it's really hard to update your own company's website. There's
It's
so much red
extremely
tape to go
hard.
through.
And from my perspective too, before I was on the events team, I was actually on our public relations team. So I have seen both sides of both the challenges from the PR team getting things across to our corporate web team, and also from the event side where you want to showcase as much as possible. And with a corporation, it really is a balancing act because within a hotel, there are so many other stories that our PR team has to share between our spa, our four restaurants, the local marketing initiatives. So events are just a small piece of the puzzle, whereas when we are venue managers, we want our venue to be showcased at the top of everything and to always be top of mind. So this is where PartySlate comes into play, where I don't have as much wiggle room to showcase our real events on our Four Seasons hotel website. I can utilize this as our personal portfolio to showcase as much as possible.
Yeah. And I want to make sure, Allison, that we look at some of the private features too that I know your team's been utilizing with private storage.
Yeah.
And so like I
Oh,
mentioned
I'm
at the
so glad you said the word storage. That's
yes,
key.
yes. So tell me more. Tell me more about what storage has been like for your team and how
Yeah.
PartySlate's private storage is changing things for your team.
Absolutely. So again, coming from a large hotel, we have about 20 team members within our sales and marketing division. So that's our public relations team, sales managers, our corporate travel managers, and then of course our catering team. And for the first few years that we were open, we would each save our hotel and event photos in different folders, whether it be in our corporate OneDrive, on desktops. And so photo management was really challenging for us. We had things spread across everywhere, and it was a constant battle of people messaging in teams like, I remember seeing this photo somewhere. Can somebody remind me where it's saved? So now that we are integrating everything into PartySlate, our mission is to have all of our event photos captured here within our back of house photo library. And we recognize that maybe not every event that we receive photos for are going to be the kind of photos that we want to showcase on our public profile, but having it as a tool where we can safeguard everything and have it live in one place is really so incredible. I think our IT team is going to thank us at the end of the day because we're not taking as much data to save all of these photos. But you never know. There could be a photo from an album where maybe it's just one image that actually works really well for marketing initiatives, whereas the rest of the album might not be the best fit to be showcased.
Yeah, and I know, I mean, we have obviously 41 albums that are here, and then I think on your public facing profile, it's 26 that are currently public facing. And so that really is
Yeah.
just an example of how, you mentioned it can be such a mess sometimes, where you have the same photo is being saved by PR, by catering, by sales, and now everyone can actually just have access. It's all in one place, and you can leverage our AI tools as well with search and share too, where you can easily then search for that one photo that you're looking for.
And I will say it's a bit of a work in progress because our hotel, we've been open for about 6 years now. So there are so many more albums than this that we haven't even tapped into quite yet. And that's kind of the challenging part about content is you don't even know where to begin sometimes. It feels like so much. You're trying to keep up with each event. So moving forward, our team is really channeling the idea of having a best practice be as soon as we receive an album and consent from our clients that they are willing for us to share the photos, that we are immediately uploading it into PartySlate so we can have it included in our repertoire. And then when we do have some downtime, so for our team right now, where our summer is pretty quiet with our ballrooms being closed, we're channeling back to some of those past albums and uploading them when we have some time.
For sure. And I know our team, our ops team has been
Your
helpful with
team has
the
been
store,
so
the storage
incredible.
transfer.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's just
gosh,
helping
it's
you
been
transfer all
amazing.
the storage. So
It
we're here to help always.
Truly. And at this point, we've shared all of the albums with your team that we can, and it came back to us. Some of the passwords had expired or what have you. So it's a good starting point, and we know that we have your support moving forward. So thank you for that.
Of course, of course. Melissa, I'd love to move on to the Bedford Village Inn. And so this is your public facing profile. Can you tell me a little bit about how you've utilized this public side for exposure?
So similar to Allison, so we definitely in our initial inquiry, just speaking of weddings specifically, we use it the most. But what I do want to mention before moving forward that I love about PartySlate is that I can show corporate business here. It isn't only bridal. I can show, our different dining outlets and everything where it truly encompasses our entire property, which is so hard to capture when you're not just a standalone venue. We have private dining, we have corporate events, social. We do so many showers, everything to that effect. That's why I really love this. It displays everything beautifully, excuse me. And then at the beginning of our call, when you asked us what kind of AI tools do we use, when I had mentioned making those microsites, that was before PartySlate. Had I not put all that work and effort in, I would not need them anymore because of what PartySlate has to offer. You've taken over 2 microsites with galleries for every month. You've taken over all that organization, the photo organizing and everything, and made it so beautifully easy to digest and just displays in a stunning manner. It's so perfect. So this is a tool that, as much as I'm scared to let go of those sites that I've created, I want to use more. It does all the work for you. So we definitely send our galleries out to couples. We direct them to our page to see our testimonials, and we just direct all clients, corporate, social, or wedding clients here just because it covers everything. It's not C-Event where it's more corporate facing, or Wedding Pro, and here comes the guide, and all of those that are just more bridal. This just encompasses everything. So we definitely use that to share with our couples. Photo search and share is like my new best friend. That's something we use throughout our tours. So we have the shortcut on our phones and our iPads. So like I had mentioned, we are a seasoned wedding venue, meaning we have weddings all throughout the year. So we could be touring with a couple in July that wants to see what the grounds look like in winter. So it's hard to see when the gardens are all filled in and there's a beautiful fountain out and birds are flying through, what will it look like? And they want to make sure our client's happy with how it does present in the winter, because obviously it's a much different look. So if we just put in winter, we could search through and see all these beautiful winter weddings. You're going to see the snow-covered courtyard going down, I mean, gorgeous. And then I can curate an album and send it to a bride, title it the couple's name, make it personal. So using AI, but again, having that emotional part to it, which all of us as sales coordinators, managers, and planners, we have empathy. We want to connect with our couples. We don't want to give up and surrender to AI, but we can use it to help us so we're not so pressed and burdened with all of the admin tasks, right? So we use this all of the time. I had a couple a few weeks ago that came through and they wanted to have a Jewish ceremony with a hopa at dusk. And I was able to find that in here. So it was so nice that I was able to curate an album of the ketubah signing, the hopa, everything, all those formalities that are special. One, it gave them trust in us that we knew what we were doing and how to execute that style reception, but also it showcased the beauty of the venue and everything there. So this one here, the top right with the beautiful bride with gloves on, that was November at dusk for their ceremony, which was very important. So I was then able to dive into their album and show this couple that also won in November, kind of the beautiful advantages of a wedding during that time and how beautiful it still looks in November at the tail end of fall. So it was really a huge selling point for us. Again, it's personal in those post-tour follow-ups rather than thank you for touring our venue. Hey, Allison and Mark, I created this album for you. I really wanted to show you how, the hopa looks outside. They chose the time of year that you were looking at dusk for the ceremony. It was still light out. It was beautiful. Wanted to share this with you. Hope you enjoy. And then going through other things that we extend with our couples, of course. So we use the search and share. When you go to our galleries, I think we have 214. So the amount of photos that we uploaded was over 40,000. So we really took advantage of this, and you just treat it like Google. You'll put in certain things and it doesn't have to be so detailed. If I want to see ketubah signing, if I write in pen, it's going to show me every single wedding I've had that's signed something, so I can show them different aspects of that. And it's taken less than 10 seconds. Another one that they added on for us when we were testing this is they put my albums in by month, which was so important in the search and share feature. So I can go in. So February is different from March. March is so different from April. We can really show those times of year and make our client feel confident knowing this is the exact time, this is what it will look like. They now trust us and we can move forward and we know they're happy. So selling wise, it's a huge tool. This is incredible. We used to spend forever. My girls would be like, Melissa, what's the wedding with greenery on the beams? And I'd know them off the top of my head because I have a photographic memory, but now I don't have to be, cataloging these in my mind. So it really works out well. We use it we get the galleries from our photographers. So we'll find them either tagging us on Instagram or we reach out to them following the wedding just to make sure they remember to share with us. We'll then go and upload to search and share any of those albums that we want to have. Our account rep is Hallie. We love her. She'll upload and make a beautiful blog for us in a gallery on our guest facing profile. We'll do that at that point. Then we plan out our social media posts and we connect everything to Pinterest. So we've done that all in one spot, which I used to have to make all this a different workflow for that to work for our team. And it was so much more complicated than it needed to be. So this has really just done so much for our venue and just how much we have an Instagram page for weddings only that we're posting as many weddings as possible. Our couples love it. And we have a lot of people that don't know about our venue seeing things. So it's so instrumental to us for sure. Beyond that, and I know this is long-winded, I also used it. So we were talking, Lillian and I, and talking through and going through, and she's like, you can use search and share now before it went live. And I had a wedding brochure to create, 32 pages. And thinking of those albums, where am I going to find that couple under the lights at night, dancing, looking beautiful? What was their name? Just picking the perfect photo was a mundane task, and it's defeating because you want it to be the best. So with search and share, I was able to see, and I brought it home with me, I was able to create this beautiful wedding brochure, glossy, that we give to all tours that showcases our property. So, going through picture perfect moments, I got to pick out all of the features of outside on the grounds that we wanted to show. It goes through culinary, it goes through our ceremony and cocktail hour spaces, getting ready suites, wedding rentals, everything. So oftentimes in our tours, we can't see the bridal suite for getting ready because our bride's already in there. So this is so huge to have this right at our fingertips to show them exactly what that looks like so they can be in the moment, envisioning themselves getting ready the day of, our different spots for rehearsal, dinners, everything. So this is huge. And it would have taken me months. It took me 2 weeks, and it was because of Search and Share. Hands down, 100%, this is not a lie. I emailed Lillian. I was like, please, you need to know how much this means to me. Thank you. So it was huge, and we continue to use it. We're using it more and more after every tour, and it's just something we're getting used to it, and now it's part of our everyday workflow, and it's so instrumental to us. So
I mean,
thank you.
Melissa, of course. I mean, I love hearing about all the different ways you've utilized it. And I think for everyone on this call to know, all of this is fully AI enabled. So there's no manual tagging that Melissa did. There's to say, oh, bridal suite or HUPA, for example. None of this is someone, whether it's Melissa or someone on our team, no one is going in and manually tagging that these are HUPAs, or, pen was another example that you had. No one's manually going in and tagging that these are all pens. It's AI that is looking at the photo, and it can see that there is a pen in this photo, so that when we search for, signing photos, pen photos, for example, it's AI that's automatically pulling. And I think one thing for everyone on this call to know is that Search and Share works across your entire storage, whether it's the private storage that Allison was talking about, that her whole team is getting everyone on private storage, or whether it's what's on publicly on your profile. So anything that's publicly shown, private storage, or even Melissa, you referenced credited albums. And so maybe you have a partner, maybe it's a planner who they're the ones who uploaded it, but they tagged your venue as a site that that the event took place. Anything that someone publicly credits you on will also show up, and Search and Share goes across all of that. So private storage, public facing, and credited. And it's all AI. And so I think I love hearing about all these specific examples, Melissa, because that really is the topic of conversation for today. It's about time saving. I love that example that you just gave, that it would have taken you probably a month plus, maybe multiple months to update that brochure. And it took you 2 weeks because you're leveraging these AI tools to really fully actually find content in 1 second. I mean, that took probably 2 seconds for us to search and actually identify the right photo. And one last thing that I want to show people that you had referenced, HUPA, for example. Let's say you have someone who's coming in looking to do wants to set up a HUPA, wants to know what it looks like. You can easily select some photos. I'm just going to select a few example ones. If you click share, it actually does generate a unique page that you can then send to the couple. I'll just type this as example HUPA photos, create a share link, and I'm going to click preview. So with that, this took under a minute in total. And now this is a link that's publicly shareable that you can share to that client. And it feels, this is what we're talking about, right? You want it to feel, you want it to be automatic, but it has to also feel personal. So this is that really nice personal touch where your prospective customer, your prospective client, they know that you've been listening to them, you've heard what it is that you're looking for, and you can then pull from your past work, all the past events that you've done to show them that I can execute on this event and it'll look exactly like you want it. So thank you for all those examples, Melissa. I think it's always, I'm definitely a person where I think it's helpful to hear those specific examples, and I'm sure a lot of those resonate with a lot of the people on this call too. And Melina, let's talk about culture and Vera. And so this is your public facing profile. I would love to understand how your team uses it, whether it's for lead generation, or I know that you also work across a lot of different categories, the types of events that you are working with.
Yes. So culture, as you see it right now, it's fully furnished. However, it is completely empty space. It is very hard sometimes for people to understand when you bring them into empty space, what can be done there. And with AI and with some of the pictures that we have, we're capable of giving them idea. But with AI, I can fully, give it an order, furnish this room, use this, use that, this type of chair, and it gives after they see the picture, they get some sort of idea. Oh my God, this is actually how you can, because I feel like sometimes people just really are visual, and for using AI will definitely help them to understand. Obviously, we're not going to recreate a picture on to the dot. However, it is one of those parts where AI really helps. We are in DC, which has a lot of clients, and a lot of times they don't want us to post pictures. They don't want us even to announce that we have events. So a lot of the pictures are not out there from the great events we have done, just because we want to protect the privacy. But it's definitely one of the best ways, given that, you know, you see the different venue, you see the different floor of the same venue. It's just a lot that's always happening there. And with AI and also with PartySlate, you can also say, this is the culture events, this is the Vera event. The HU is actually within the culture. So definitely streamlines all the communications, and it makes it super easy for them to see what type of events can be done there.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing that I love about PartySlate, and certainly I think all three of you have touched on, is that we are more than just weddings. And so I think if you're looking at just, you know, maybe our homepage or our Instagram, sometimes it can feel very wedding heavy, but it is also corporate. It is also what I like to call milestone social. And so, you
Have a
know, big
lot
birthday
more
parties.
We have a lot more corporate inquiries on your end than wedding, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. This is why I like it. And it's also very easy for them to see what can be done. But I definitely think that a lot of our weddings don't come from PartySlate. It's more corporate. And I think that given that, you know, we are able to showcase each space and describe it, also gives the guest facing where, hey, what if I only have 50 people? Where do I go? And then on PartySlate, you can easily see that. And one thing that I love about PartySlate is your accuracy with time. So technically, you guys are always updating us, and you're literally online with all the new trends and everything. And you are the one that are poking us, hey, let's do this. This is now what will help you. And, you know, with all these webinars that you guys are doing, it's just amazing. I mean, I've listened to some of the great speakers, got their books, and it just like opened a whole new world to me about, oh my God, PartySlate is really educating us on how to drive more money, drive more sales, how to be better in what we're doing.
Yeah, and I hope that this webinar too is useful for everyone who's joining in as well when it comes to using AI to save time, to be more efficient, so that you have more time to actually focus on closing business instead of some of the more admin type of work that we all have to do, but we know that that's not, you know, that's not what we are hoping to spend all of our time on. Well, thank you to the three of you. I think to close, I would love to give everyone also a preview of a few things that are coming soon from PartySlate. And so Tara is going to screen share a few slides. Um, you know, I love that all three of you, I think, were talking about Triple C on this call, because one of the things that I'm most excited for is that we do have an integration with Triple C that is coming soon, where you'll be able to streamline your lead integration into Triple C directly. And so I know that today, because a lot of the inquiries go directly into your emails, typically what happens is that if you're using a Triple C or some other type of CRM platform, you're copying and pasting your lead information from your email into your CRM so that you can track everything. And so this will actually enable all of the inquiries to go directly into Triple C so that you can, you know, close leads faster, track where everything is, have it all in one place. PartySlate will guide your integration setup so that there's no tech burden on you. It's currently in pilot, and we are going to have more information coming soon once it's out of pilot. But I love that all three of you were talking about Triple C and all the different CRMs that you utilize. And then the second exciting thing that I'm thrilled to share is that we are also integrating with Canva. And so when we do integrate with Canva, you'll be able, yes, I see a clap from Allison. I know a lot of different people, you know, we talk about templates, we talk about wanting to be able to create things easily and quickly. With our integration with Canva, you'll be able to access and search all of your event photos directly in Canva to create those beautiful client proposals, or what maybe you might use it for social media or those microsites that you're doing. Once you download the PartySlate app in Canva, that entire search and share experience that Melissa, you had referenced, whether it's searching for HIPAA, pen, whatever those specific things are, you can actually just pull into Canva directly those photos. You'll search for pen directly in Canva, and all of your photos will always be there. And so Allison, when your team has all of your photos stored on PartySlate, anyone who uses Canva will actually be able to pull photos directly without having to download and then re-upload. So again, it's all about time saving, really. It's so that those, you know, every piece of step in that workflow, anything that we can reduce and make it as easy as possible. I know it means more time back in your hands, so you can focus on the venue tours, so that you can focus on, you know, those personalized responses and really closing business. And let me actually just do a quick check on the questions. I see someone had asked if we send photo albums to the PartySlate team, will they upload all the albums to our PartySlate profile on our behalf? And so if you're interested in the photo storage transferring that we talked about, we help Melissa's team do it. We're helping Allison's team do it. If you have your content and photos stored on a different platform, we do have our ops team who will help with that photo transfer, because I know that in order to leverage a lot of these AI powered tools that are on PartySlate, it's going to be the most beneficial for you if you have all of your content on PartySlate so you can actually leverage it. So with that, we'd love for anyone who's interested in accessing some of these tools. You can scan that QR code that's right here on the right-hand side, and you can actually schedule a demo to make sure that you are unlocking the full potential of PartySlate. This will put you in touch with someone on our team to help you optimize your profile page or public-facing profile page to drive more business. You can see our AI tools in action with an expert demo. Any current customers are eligible, like I said, for that photo storage transfer, where someone on our team will help you transfer all the photos from whether it's Dropbox, Google Drive, OneDrive, any other platform that's in the cloud. We can help you get it onto PartySlate and truly just really unlock the full value of PartySlate. And so if there are any other questions in the Q&A, let me just do a quick scan to see. I think someone did ask, there's a question in here, I believe this is for you, Melissa, on what the texting platform is that you're using to text clients.
So it integrates with Triple Seat. It's called Connect. So it's one of the Triple Seat integrations. So we're just in the very early stages with that right now. And again, the main thing is I don't want to feel like I'm a car dealer when someone, inquires for a wedding or an event. So it's really, we've been testing that out and kind of getting their client base, knowing who they work with, and, inquiring there to see how it presents. But it is Connect. They've been wonderful, but it is a direct integration with Triple C, which puts the lead in there for you, which is huge. We don't want a third party integration. We want it directly in Triple C. We want to get as many as our leads, just like with PartySlate now, it's huge. We want them all in one spot. So that's why we're going with that service, with that company specifically.
I see someone else just asked, intellectual property remains on user, correct? Yes, that's correct. All of your IP, all of your content remains yours, fully yours. It is all private, and so no one can publicly see anything that you are privately storing with us, unless, of course, you choose to want to make it public, but that choice is totally up to you. The content still remains up to you, fully in your control. Any other questions before we end this? Well, with that, I do want to give a huge thank you to Milena, Melissa, and Allison. Allison's actually joining us on vacation, and Milena's also in Florida, workcation, not totally vacation. But I really feel like conversations like this is what's going to move our industry forward. We know that things are changing with technology, and we all have to be more cognizant of what's going on with AI in order for us to all be as best as we can at our jobs. And so thank you so much for spending this hour with us. And thank you to everyone on the call for joining us as well.
Thank you, Lillian. This was really great.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.